Welcome to this week's web class. This week we are talking about changing life purposes and why you should be okay with your purpose changing. I'm Keisha Golder, and I help women define their unique purpose so they can live a life they created on their own terms. I also created the Your Life Purpose Makeover Journey, which is a 3-stage, 9-step program developed to help you change your life. But we'll talk more about that later. I want to take a moment to remind everyone that there will be a question and answer section towards the end of the presentation. So hold your questions until then, and I will greatly appreciate it. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about last week. Last week, we discussed personal power, what personal power is, why finding personal power leads to success, and how you can access your personal power. What will we learn this week? This week, we're going to talk about why it is okay to have a change in your purpose, reasons your life purpose can change, and what to do when you feel that your purpose is changing. Before I get into that, I feel it is important to remind everyone about what purpose is. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I've already done a class on that. So if you want to know more about what I talked about, you're more than welcome to go to my website and check out the Purpose web class. But purpose is where we find meaning or what we want to contribute to. So our purpose can be linked to our careers, but more than likely, you're not going to find purpose in your work that you do. And for some people, purpose in life is something that drives you every single day. So when you get up in the morning, you don't drag your feet getting up. You don't drag your feet and say, oh, it's Monday, when you have purpose. Even on Mondays, which normally most people hate, you get up and you're like, yes, I have the opportunity to live in my purpose, to do what I'm here to do, and I'm going to take every bit of that opportunity to do it. So it really gives us meaning, it motivates us, it helps us want to contribute to everything around us. So, why is it okay to have a change in your purpose? Contrary to popular belief, our purpose in life changes quite a bit, and that is okay. And the reason it changes is because we are constantly growing and developing. Yes, there are some people who, regardless of how much they grow and develop, their purpose remains the same. Like, think about a child maybe that you've gone to school with, and they said that they wanted to be a doctor. And literally all through life, no matter how much they've grown, they learned, they developed, they ended up being a doctor. There are people who have a consistent purpose in life, but most of us are going to change our purpose as we develop more, as we grow more, as we learn and experience more in life. And that's fine. Nothing is wrong with someone who has the same purpose throughout life. Nothing is wrong with someone who changes their purpose. All of us are here for a reason. And as long as we are doing what we are called to do, we're all going to be fine. So there are also misconceptions about purpose. People feel that it is just a single destination. Like you're taking a trip and you're going to Hawaii. That is your destination. But purpose is more of a journey. It's something that is you're going to experience over a course of time, over a long course of time. And there's really not an end game because your purpose, as stated before, is ever evolving as long as you are evolving and experiencing things that are different to you. So purpose is not a single destination. It is a journey. From the day we are born, we start the journey to our purpose or purposes. So here are some of the different stages in life that can result in a different purpose. Childhood, school, college, university, your first career, your second career. You may even have a third and fourth career. And of course, retirement. So in each of these stages, we know different things. So when we're children, we're still learning, experiencing. We're trying to get our sea legs, so to speak. So when we're children, our main purpose is to learn. It's also to have fun. Now, does every child have a childhood where it's full of fun and learning experiences? No, but most of us have those experiences as children. So when we get to college and university, or just regular school, we take those childhood experiences, that childhood purpose to learn and to have fun, and we incorporate it into the school, college, and university. So when we're in school, that's when elementary school, middle school, even high school, that's when you get the talks about your careers, what it is that you want to do with your life. And then you learn about these things. In college, if you've already decided what it is that you want to do in life, you go to college or university and develop in this area more. Now, most of us know that when we go to college or university, there's a huge chance that we will not use the degrees that we come out of those schools with. But does that mean there's anything wrong with going to gain the knowledge and experience? No, because we are developing, and we can use that further down the line in our purpose. So the next one is a first career. First careers are normally what we do if you get a job as a teenager. So that's normally your first career. For me, it was working customer service. So I worked customer service from the time I was 16 until 30 something. I don't remember the exact age. So I worked, it wasn't in the same job, but it was customer service related the entire span of that first career. I learned a lot about myself. During those years, I also learned a lot about people. And the one thing that stuck out to me was I hated it. I felt miserable. I was always drained. So I knew that I could not spend my entire life with this career. So I knew that that was not my purpose. My second career has become helping people. Now, when I was a child, I always knew that I wanted to help people. Again, I did not know how I was going to go about helping people. I did not know how it was going to look. Even when I went to school, and I've told you guys this story before, I started at Coppin State University with nursing. I ended up doing psychology. Do I actually practice psychology? No. But I've been able to take all of those things that I learned from childhood, school, college, university, and even my first career to help with this second career, which is my purpose of helping people. I just do it in a different way than I thought I would do it. Now, if I decide tomorrow, next year, the year after that, hey, I think I want to do something else, then that would be my third career. And the only way that I would decide to do something else is if I continued to develop and I felt that I helped all of the people that I could help. But for me, I feel like as long as there are people that are open-minded, that are willing to listen to what I have to say, that are willing to learn the tools that I have to give them, then I'm always going to be in the passion or the field of helping people. It may look different over time, but I honestly believe for me that that's what I'm going to do. And of course, when we are in retirement, we want to kick back, relax, and enjoy all the rest of the time that we have left in life, because for most of us, we are going to work up until the point of retirement. And then, chances are, because I have met people over the course of my life that have retired and then started another career, because after they retired, they felt like they needed to do something. They felt like they needed to pick up something. Now, for me, I'm around a lot of older people who are retired, and they help me with my full-time job. We do a food pantry, and they help me there. That is the way that they give back to people. That is the way that they spend their time. So right now, they get a sense of purpose by helping people, by volunteering their time to people who are in need. So these are the different stages that you go through in life, and every stage presents a different purpose for you. So we've talked about purpose. We talked about how purpose can change in the different stages. Next, we're going to talk about the reason why life purpose can change. Why does your life purpose change? Personal growth. We are all growing. Let me say that again. We are all growing on a daily basis. Personal growth leads to transformation and seeking improvement in our lives. If we're not growing, we're stagnant. And being stagnant really does not get us anywhere. Being stagnant holds us back from achieving things like our purpose or achieving our dreams. So we always want to be in a state of growth, even if it's just to make sure that you are doing better than you were the day before. So that is personal growth and transformation is one reason how our life purpose can change. Feeling unfulfilled is another reason why our life purpose can be changed or changes. So, for an example, I'll talk about someone who was on the stock market. On the stock market, made a ton of money, has all the name brands, all the cars, take extravagant trips and all of these things. But inside, they're feeling empty. They know that they're not doing what they can really do to help a cause, someone else. But they've chosen to be a stock market investor for their career. So they have the feelings of unfulfillment. So they decided they want to change. When they change, that feeling of unfulfillment goes away. Another example of a person feeling unfulfilled is a doctor. We have a lot of doctors who work in hospitals, run clinics, and all of these things for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, they do programs like Doctors Without Borders, where they go live in another country for a year or two and volunteer their services to the people of this other country who are not necessarily getting medical treatment the way that they should be getting. So they're not changing their purpose, but they are changing the fulfillment that they get from that purpose, because the day-to-day humdrum of running a hospital or being in a hospital or a clinic was no longer giving them what they needed. And knowing that there is something greater than you. We all, whether we believe in God, the universe, don't believe in anything, we know that there's something outside of us. The question is, how can you contribute to that something outside of you? How can you step outside of yourself long enough to help someone else? So when I say something greater than you, that's what I mean. How can you help someone else? A lot of us want to help other people, but we don't know how to go about it. Or we may want to help people, and then we let other people talk us out of it. Guess what? Stop letting other people talk you out of it, because those people don't have your vision, don't have your passion, don't have your values. So if you're being called, if you feel that you're being called to change your purpose because you need to step outside of yourself, do that. Help someone else. Create a program that's going to make a difference in someone else's life. Do something that is going to put a smile on your face, but more importantly, make a difference in someone else's life. And that is another way that when you see the changes that you can help people make, that is another way that you can create more confidence in yourself. You can stop worrying about, are you good enough? Or are you confident enough? Because you're doing things that no longer relate to you. The purpose of you doing things is for other people. Now, what do you do when you feel your purpose is changing? Simply put, you talk about, or you sit with yourself and you discuss some of these questions. And these questions are along the same lines of how we find our purpose in general. So you ask yourself, and you have to be 100% honest. Who am I? What do I have to contribute to the world? If I only had 1 year left to live, how would I spend it? What are my core beliefs? What are my values? And my principles? And in the moments in the past week, have I found myself completely engaged in and focused on what I am doing without stress or distraction? So you're probably thinking, why am I answering these questions? Simple. Even in my roadmap, I have beliefs, values. So those are the things that are at your core, regardless of what happens tomorrow, what the next person says, what you wake up tomorrow with, whether you wake up tomorrow with $1 million or 1 penny. Your core values and your beliefs will stay the same. So what are you doing to honor those values, those beliefs, and those principles? Is being a doctor really honoring those values, beliefs, and principles? Are they in alignment? Do they resonate with each other? Or are they out of sorts and you don't know how to bring them back together? Were they ever together? If the answer to that question is no, your beliefs, values, and principles are not aligned with your current position, then it's time to change. And once you answer what your values are, your beliefs are, and your principles, that can help you with defining what your new purpose is going to be. The same thing with what can you contribute to the world. Just how I talked about how I build upon my purpose, I build my purpose upon the things that I've learned at each stage. What have you learned that you can contribute to the world in a different way than you already are? Who are you? How have you grown from the point that you decided to be a doctor? How have you grown? Have you gotten better at it? Do you still love it? Does it still make you happy? Or is it just something that you do? Are you happy with spending 24 hours sometimes working, no days off? Or are you happy with being called in when you're home in your bed? These are all of the things that you have to ask yourself about your current life in order to find whether your purpose is changing and what it's changing to. Now, if you only had 1 year left, how would you spend it? Like for me, I would say that I would spend that year I had left making the biggest difference in other people's lives just by doing things to see them smile. Do you know how hard it is for some people to smile? Because they feel that they don't have anything to smile about. Do you know how simple it is just to smile at someone and how it can change their moods? So, all of these questions are things that you can do to regroup your purpose or to find out what your purpose is changing to. Then you may go through 3 purposes, 4 purposes, 5 purposes through your lifetime. And it's all okay because, as I stated, we are continuously growing, we are continuously developing. Some of us may only go through that one, and that is okay too, because some of us know without a shadow of a doubt, this is what we're here to do. This is the only thing we're here to do. And by doing this one thing, we're able to contribute to more people. It doesn't matter if you have the same purpose throughout your lifetime or if you change your purpose throughout your lifetime. As long as you are making sure that you are fulfilled and you are doing what you are called to do and helping others by doing it, then you're serving your purpose. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type them in the chat box and I'll answer them. Okay, so I love to keep in touch with everyone. You can check me out on Facebook at Coach Keisha Golder, YouTube at Keisha Golder, LinkedIn Keisha Golder, and of course, my website, www.keishagolder.com. Next week, we are talking about, it says changing life purposes, but we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about why life experiences shape us the way that they do. Not to confuse that with life experiences being the end all be all to why we are the way that we are, but we're going to learn about why or how they help shape us into the people that we are. I showed you guys this earlier. This is the life purpose makeover journey, 3-stage, 9 steps. As you can see, like we talked about purpose, but we also talked about core values and beliefs along in that presentation. So all of these are steps to finding your purpose. We have to dig deep. You have to be honest with yourself, and I hold you accountable for you to get to the bottom of where you are, why you're there, but more importantly, where do you see yourself going? How do you see yourself getting there? How do your values play a part in that? How do your belief systems play a part in that? We all have skills and talents. How can your skills and talents be used so that you can solidify your purpose and walk within it? How about your passions and interests? Of course, it's important to know what we have experienced and how those experiences either help us or create biases for us. We're going to create a vision for your life. What do you see your life truly looking like? Who's there with you? How do every detail look? How do you feel when you see what you want your life to look like? And we're going to define our purpose. We have to define our purpose because otherwise, what are we really doing? We have to know what it is that we're called to do and how we are going to do it, which is the last step, the paradigm. It's the blueprint. And this blueprint will allow you to be able to maneuver through the different changes that you may have when it comes to finding your purpose. So, if you want to talk about anything on this roadmap, or you can always go to my website, KeishaGolder.com/let's talk to book a call with me, and we can get more in depth into exactly what it is that you want to discuss. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week.